Can you tell us about grey kitchens?
Yes, we are standing in a grey kitchen right now in our Chelsea showroom, but I think essentially grey kitchens are quite popular because it's quite timeless. You know, there are obviously lots of different shade variations of grey. People generally paint walls quite light, especially in a sort of open plan kitchen, living, dining, where it's one of the main sociable spaces. So essentially you want to create some contrast between your wall colour. So grey is quite a good way to do that. It's a bit like a soft monochrome rather than black and white. You might have a slightly off-white wall, but then a slightly darker, more contrasting grey cabinet. It's also a really nice colour to mix in with other materials. You can obviously mix in any sort of tiles and patterns to elevate it and make it have a bit more personality. But as a base, I would say it's a good choice for longevity.
What finishes would you mix in with a grey kitchen?
I think that's where grey is really good because it's it's quite a wide choice of what you could always put in with it. For example, you know, a matte black would work really well, creates contrast. Equally, a sort of burnished brass finish makes it perhaps slightly more timeless with the grey rather than too contemporary. Copper would work beautifully, a more contemporary, more shiny brass works well, and then a bronze.
What surfaces work well with a grey kitchen?
Well, here what we've done is actually sort of gone tone on tone. So we've gone a slightly darker grey, and then we've mixed it with a Pietra grey worktop. And the reason we like that is because it sort of feels more like a piece of furniture rather than having contrast between the doors and the countertop. They feel like one more solid piece. But then obviously it is important to bring in contrast, and in this case we've done it through the handles, which are matte black, just to create that light and shade, which again, it's all about balance. Equally, here's some other examples. You know, I would say this is a sort of slightly paler grey, and you could apply the same principle and go for a more classic sort of marble look, which is a bit lighter. A mid-tone, again, a sort of concretey. We tend to like matte surfaces as well because they're less shiny and reflective, but that works really lovely. Or you're doing something that's a bit more, you know, this I would say is a bit of a warmer grey, and then a worktop that sort of mirrors that in that there's some warmer tones, taupey tones running through that worktop. But it's the same principle. You then want to mix in finishes to just elevate and add another layer of interest.